हेलो फ्रेंड्स, आपका केम क्लास ऑनलाइन में वेलकम है। हम लोग आज सॉल्यूशन चैप्टर पढ़ेंगे। इसके पहले हमने सॉल्यूशन से रिलेटेड सारे टॉपिक्स को स्टेप वाइज छोटे छोटे वीडियोज में बना रखा है, पर आप में से कुछ लोगों के कमेंट्स थे कि सर एक ही चैप्टर में, एक ही वीडियो में पूरे चैप्टर को एंड कर दीजिए, आप ऐसा कोई वीडियो बनाइए जिसमें पूरा चैप्टर इंक्लूड हो जाए। सो आज हम कोशिश करने जा रहे हैं कि एक ही वीडियो में पूरे होल सिलेबस को, सॉल्यूशन चैप्टर से रिलेटेड सारे टॉपिक्स को हम लोग डिस्कस कर लें। फ्रेंड्स, इसमें हम लोगों ने पीछे के वीडियोज में सभी टॉपिक्स को एक्सप्लेन से पढ़ा हुआ है, एक्सप्लेन वाइज पढ़ा हुआ है। तो अगर आप नहीं देख पाए हैं तो मेरे यूट्यूब चैनल केम क्लास ऑनलाइन पर जाकर के आप सर्च कर सकते हैं। वहाँ से आपको सॉल्यूशन, सॉलिड स्टेट, साथ ही साथ कुछ अदर टॉपिक जो क्लास 11 के हैं वो सब आपको मिल जाएंगे। सॉल्यूशन इज द होमोजेनियस मिक्सचर of two or more components। फ्रेंड्स, जो सॉल्यूशन होता है वो दो या अधिक कंपोनेंट का होमोजेनियस मिक्सचर होता है। सपोज दैट दिस इज द बीकर एंड इट कंटेन्स two component। Suppose that one is sugar and another is water। Next, this is the beaker, similarly contains containing sand and water। So friends, this is the mixture of two components which having two different things. One is the water and another is the sugar in this, and this is the sand and water. So this is the binary component, because there are the two components are there. When we stir this, after some time sugar molecules will break down in the small fragment and this will disappear in the water। So there is no availability or no identification of separately sugar and water, means we cannot separate it by the physically, any physical means we cannot separate to the water and the sugar without evaporation। And in this case the sand molecules are easily appeared and we can easily identify to the sand particles after stirring so many times, means we can easily separate both sand and water, both can easily separated। So this is the solution and this one is the not solution, it is a suspension, or we can say this is the homogeneous phase and this is the heterogeneous। Homogeneous means the components cannot be separated and heterogeneous means component can be separated। So the solution is the homogeneous mixture of the two or more components। So friends, solution are formed by the two things, one is the solvent and second one is the solute। So try to understand what is the solvent and what is the solute। Basically we can say that solvent is those which is present in large amount, so solute is the present in the small amount। But the main definition is that the solution physical state is similar to the physical state of solvent. Means which physical state of solution is observed will be similar physical state of the solvent. Like the sugar is solid and water is a liquid, and the mixture of homogeneous mixture of sugar and water is liquid. So water is the solvent and sugar is the solute. So friends, from here we can easily find what is the solute and what is the solvent. Type of the solution, there are the many types of the solution, like the solution formed by the solvent with solute. So solvent may be solid, liquid and gas. Similarly, solute also may be present, may be solid, liquid and gas. So solution of solid and solid. Solution of solid and solid means solid can be dissolved into solid, like the metallic alloy. These are the solution of the solid solution. This is known as the solid solution. And liquid present in the liquid. So liquid solution and gas solution may be possible, as well as solution of solid, liquid, solid gas and solid. So there are the three type of solution will be formed by the solid, three type of the solution will be formed by the liquid, and three type of the solution will be formed by the gas also. So there are total 9 type of the solution are possible. So 9 type of the solution are possible, and you may search in last video of Chem class online. From there you can observe the examples with explanation of the type of the solution. Then now we proceed to the next thing, that concentration of the solution. So friends, come to the concentration of the solution. So friends, comes to the concentration of the solution. There are different ways to represent the concentration of the solution, but the concentration of solution is represented according to our need, according to different purposes. So start, the first is mass percentage. Mass percentage, you can calculate the mass percentage of the solution by applying the formula mass of component in the solution divided by total mass of solution into 100. So this is the mass percentage of the solution. Next, second is the volume percentage. Volume percentage, similarly the volume of the component in the solution divided by the total volume of the component multiplied by the 100. So you write volume of component where in the solution and it divided by the total volume and it's multiplied by the 100. So it will be volume percentage. Very simply you can find the volume percentage. Next one is the important thing is this. Third one is mole fraction. Mole fraction. So friends, mole fraction of the solution. Mole fraction of the solution, it is the important thing. Suppose that a solution is formed by two components, component A and component B. So these two are the components. So mole fraction mole fraction of component A is equal to the Na by Na plus Nb, where Na क्या है, where Na is moles of component A, and Nb moles of component B. So we can easily find, as we know that the moles equal to the what? Moles equal to the mass of component by molar mass of the component. So you can, or anybody can calculate the moles divided by the mass and molar mass, find the moles by the mass and molar mass to find the Na. If anyone want to calculate the mole fraction of B, so it is the formula will be Nb and Na plus Nb. Similarly, all things are the similar. So this is the total moles, this is also the total moles, and mole fraction is represented by X. So we can write Xa for the mole fraction of A and Xb for the mole fraction of B. One thing, friends, must be noted that Xa plus Xb will be always equal to the 1. If in any cases there are three components, so it will be Xa, Xb and Xc. So total sum of all component will be 1. So friends, mole fraction, sum of the mole fractions should be always equal to the 1, and anybody can calculate easily. Suppose that in any solution X A is 0.4, so what is the Xb? If in any case Xa is the 0.4, so what is the Xb? So Xb equal to the 1 minus 0.4, it will be easily 0.6. So anybody can calculate the alternatively Xb. Either you can solve by the moles, finding the moles mass upon molar mass. If in any solution there is the number of components of the I, so we can calculate Xi. How is Xi? Means summation of Ni divided by the x1 2 3 to the xi. So sum of the all components divided by the particular component. So we can calculate easily the mole fraction. Next is the part per million. So come to the part per million. So friends, next one is the parts per million. This is the very important unit to represent the concentration of the solution when the parts or the particles are present in very less amount, like the pollutants or toxic materials present anywhere. So parts per million is equal to the number of parts of component divided by total number of parts into 10 to the power 6. By applying this formula, anybody can calculate. 10 to the power 6 is the per million. So you can solve easily how many parts are present there. So number of the parts of the component divided by the total number of parts. So friends, next is molarity, and after that it will be molality. So molarity is represented by the capital M. So what is the molarity? Molarity is the number of moles present in per liter of the solution. number of moles present in the per liter of the solution. Means molarity is the moles divided by volume of solution in the liter. So we can find the molarity, moles of solute divided by the volume of the solution. Its unit is the represented by the capital M, and it will be found in the mole liter inverse, because the liter inverse is below the point. Next one is the molality. It is also very important, and it is represented by the small m, and there is a very small difference between molarity and molality. Similarly, moles of solute divided by mass of solvent in kg. So friends, one thing is remember here, molarity equal to the moles of the solute, it will be divided by mass of the solvent in kg. So solvent mass is required in the kg, and it will be mole kg inverse, and it is represented by the small m. So friend, now we have to completed all the topics related with the concentration of the solution. Now reach to the reach to the saturation, unsaturation, as well as some law of the solution. Okay. Friends, come to the solubility. What is the solubility? As you know that in the last example we have discussed about this, that this is the solvent like the water, and you dissolve the sugar or glucose or any other like the NaCl, KCl, etc. So the amount of glucose will dissolve in the solvent like the water. So which amount dissolve in the particular temperature? After the sometimes solubility or the dissolution of the glucose will stop. So we can define the solubility that the maximum amount of solute dissolved in particular solvent at particular temperature. So friends, at particular temperature, the maximum amount of solute dissolved in the particular amount and particular type of the solvent is known as the solubility. One thing is the saturation and unsaturation. So what is the saturated solution? Saturated solution. Saturated solution can be defined as the those solution in which no more quantity of solute can dissolve at particular temperature. Any fixed temperature, if there is no solubility possible, more solubility of the solute is possible in the solution, so it is called the saturated solution. Means those solution in which no more amount of the solute can dissolve, it is the saturated. And any saturated solution may be unsaturated when we raise the temperature. So by raising the temperature, any saturated solution become to the unsaturated. So friends, must remember that the solution will be unsaturated when it become to the warm. Next thing is the dilute and concentrate solution. So dilute solution and concentrate solution, it is not a specific way to calculate the concentration. Only the dilute means there is a excess amount of the solvent, and concentrate means the less amount of the solvent are present in the solution. So we can easily define the dilute solution, in which solution the more amount of the solvent is present and the excess of the solute is present in the concentrated solution. Means in this case comparably less amount of the solvent is present than the dilute solution. So in the both cases only the amount of solvent will vary. If excess of solvent is present, then dilute. If the less amount of solvent present, it is the concentrate. So friends, here it is completed all the topics related to the concentration term. Now we reach to the solubility of gases in the liquid. Just count. So friends, reach to the solubility of gas in a liquid. Some gases are very soluble in the liquid, like the HNO3 or HCl gas. HCl gas is very soluble in the water. So some gases are very soluble and some is the less soluble. This depends upon the nature of the solvent and solute. But here we are going to discuss the solubility of gas in a liquid. So take example. Let us suppose that this is a solvent like the water, and there is a gas molecules are present here. These are the gas molecules over the surface of liquid, and by applying the pressure we can see the volume of gas is decreased, because when you press the piston it will be decrease the volume. So where the gas particles are found, the gas particles are dissolved in the liquid and the volume of this will decrease. Means the gas will dissolve in the liquid. When you raise the pressure, more pressure, then it will be more dissolved. It means the first of all Henry given the law of solubility of gas in the liquid. Previously it given by the Henry, and Henry says that the mole fraction of dissolved gas, those gas which is dissolved in the liquid, means mole fraction of dissolved gas in liquid is directly proportional to the pressure at particular temperature. So the mole fraction of dissolved gas, let us suppose that the dissolved gas fraction is the X. So X is directly proportional to the pressure. So P proportional X. Now we can write P equal to the KH X, where K is the Henry law constant. Henry's law constant. But to friends, the most thing is that the temperature should be constant, and the value of KH is different for the different solvent. So this is the Henry law and is the very important for the 10+2 classes as well as the competitive classes. So friends, just you remember and make a properly understanding about the Henry law, that the amount of any dissolved gas is directly proportional to the applied pressure over the liquid surface. So this is the Henry law, and there is a many use and application of the Henry law, like the first is the scuba diver. Scuba diver use the gas cylinder containing helium. Why? This is the question asking many times in the examination in 2020 CBSE examination also. It is asked in the 10+2 exam that why the scuba diver gas cylinder contains helium gas. Friends, actually when the scuba diver jump through the water in the depth of the water to ground level, below to the surface of sea level, so the pressure is raised by the water, and at high pressure the solubility of gases will increases, and if scuba diver containing cylinder contain oxygen as well as nitrogen and some other gases, so nitrogen will also dissolve in the blood of scuba diver. When the scuba diver come from the water, then the N2 will make the small bubbles in the blood capillaries, which create the choke or the problem or trouble to the scuba divers. This condition is known as the bends. So friends, to prevent from the bends, we use no nitrogen in the gas cylinder of the scuba diver. In the place of nitrogen, the scuba diver use the helium, which is the very light gas, and it not make the bubbles or it not make the create the condition of bends. So this is the use of Henry law constant. Next one is the aquatic animal feels good feels in the low temperature. In the low temperature. So the solubility of gas is directly proportional to the pressure as well as indirectly proportional to the temperature. Means when we raise the temperature, the solubility of gases will decreases. So at low temperature, oxygen is more soluble in the water, so it is the more comfortable, and at high temperature, water is the less soluble, so it creates the uncomfortable feels. So when water is warm, the aquatic animal float on the surface to complete the solubility of oxygen demand in the body, and when the water is cooled, it becomes high concentration of the oxygen content, carry high amount of the oxygen, so the animal can reach to the depth and feel more comfortable. So friends, these are the two Henry law applications. There are 2-3 more applications are also. You can consult the book because the video is being too much long. So friends, if you want to more study about the applications of the Henry law, so you may search my last videos in the Chem class online channel. So reach to the vapor pressure. Now we are going to read the vapor pressure and Raoult's law. Okay. So friends, we are going to start Raoult's law. So what is the Raoult's law? I have written the Raoult's law. The partial pressure of each component of the solution is directly proportional to its mole fraction. So what is the partial pressure? Actually, it is the vapor pressure, like the beaker containing the liquid. So the liquid has the border. This is the surface of the liquid, and a few molecules of the liquid always going to be changed in the vapor phase, are going to the vapor state. So all the particles of vapor phase of the liquid will try to remove from the surface of the liquid. So this create the pressure to the surface for change in the gaseous state or say change in the vapor state. So this pressure is known as the vapor pressure, the pressure applied over the liquid. So here this partial pressure is the vapor pressure of the components is directly proportional to the mole fraction of component. Suppose that is a solution containing two components. Actually this is the case in which liquid dissolve in the liquid. This is a very important to understand. What is the Raoult's law? Raoult's law is the law of solution of liquid and liquid, and Henry law was the condition when liquid dissolve in the gas dissolve in the liquid. So friends, there suppose that there are two components, component 1 and component 2. So mole fraction is directly proportional to the vapor pressure or the partial pressure. Means the amount of fraction or mole fraction is directly proportional to the partial or vapor pressure. Like that. P1. For the P1, the pressure or vapor pressure or the partial pressure of component 1. So P1 proportional to the X1. Similarly, P2 proportional to the X2. But the P1 partial pressure of component 1, P2 partial pressure of component 2, X1 component of X1 mole fraction of the X1 dissolved in the solution, and X2 mole fraction of the component 2 dissolved in the solution. So we can write here P1 equal to the P1 naught X1, and it will be P2 equal to the P2 naught X2. This P1 and P2 naught is the proportionality constant for the Raoult's law, and X1 and X2 is the mole fraction of component 1 and component 2. So friends, as you know about the Dalton's law, P total, but the P total will be P1 plus P2. So write the values P1 naught X1 plus P2 naught X2. As we know that the X1 is the mole fraction of component 1, and we can define it like this: X1 equal to the 1 minus X2. So write here P1 naught 1 minus X2 plus P2 naught X2. So friends, it will be P1 naught plus X2 minus P2 naught X2, like this. Now one P1 naught here also, P1 naught, this will be P1 naught X2. So take the common X2. So it will be P1 naught plus here P1 minus P2 naught, P1 naught minus P2 naught, and the X2 common. So this is the Raoult's law calculation. P total. So P total we can calculate P total equal to P1 naught plus P1 naught minus P2 naught X2. So X2 is the mole fraction of component 2. So friends, this is the Raoult's law, and we can make its graphical representation like this. This is the x-axis, y-axis, and similar x-axis and y-axis. So we can take the mole fraction here in the mole fraction. Let us suppose X2 is being raised here. So in this point X2 equal to the 0, and at this point X2 equal to the 1, and suppose that X1 is 0 here, so X1 will be 1 here. So here X2 is the 0 x2 is the 0, it means x1 is the completely 100% here, means total x1 means pure solvent is here. So suppose that the vapor pressure dish is for x1, so it will be P1 naught, because x1 is completely here, purely present here, and vapor pressure of the component is here, this is the P1. And when we shifting this direction, then fraction of component 1 will be decreased. It means vapor pressure of component 1 will also be decreased. So slowly it becomes decreased, and this point it will be 0, means the P1 naught will be 0 here. And at this case x2 is the 1, means in this axis there is a x2 is completely present, means purely present, and let us suppose that this one is the point where P2 naught is 100, means completely 1, means purely P2 is present here, and when we shift here, means at this axis, then it will be decreases, and slowly it becomes to the decreases, and at this point it will be 0. So this is graph, this one is graph, this is for the P2, and this one is the P1, and the difference between this line is the P total. So this is the graph to represent the Raoult's law. Friends, this line and this line is should not be similar, because sometimes it may create the confusion that if vapor pressure is equal, then solution may be same. So we avoid to make the parallel line of P1 and P2 naught. So friends, this is the complete of Raoult's law. Now we are going to the deviation from Raoult's law, ideal and non-ideal solutions. So friends, we are going to discuss the point ideal solution. What is the ideal and what is the non-ideal? Friends, those solutions which follow the Raoult's law in all conditions and all situations is known as the ideal solution. Means those solutions which follow Raoult's law in all aspects is known as the Raoult's law. So which is the condition to find the Raoult's law? Actually it should be delta mixing H means enthalpy change should be 0, and delta mixing V means volume change also should be 0. Then it will be follow the Raoult's law and solution will be ideal. But in actual class cases, this is not possible. In all cases, there is a very limited examples or very less examples which are nearly found the ideal conditions, but the rest of all conditions solutions had not followed the Raoult's law. So those solutions which are not follow these conditions are known as non-ideal and sometimes real. So non-ideal solution is the real solution. So it is clear that ideal solutions are follow the Raoult's law. In this case, delta mixing enthalpy change is the 0, and delta mixing volume change is also will be 0. So friends, what is the non-ideal case? So in the case of non-ideal, there are the two type of deviation. First is the positive deviation, and second one is the negative deviation from Raoult's law. So non-ideal solutions show the two type of deviations, positive deviation and negative deviation. So we are going to discuss the non-ideal solution. These are the solution which not follow the ideal condition or the aroused first of all. So let us suppose that two components A and component B, and interaction of component A is the AA and interaction of component B is BB, and both are mixing in the case of the solution. In this, A and B are present and B into they mix each other. So there will be interaction between molecules of A and molecules of the B. So try to understand, there are personal interaction of A and personal interaction of BB. It means old. This is the old interaction, and this is the also old interaction. When we mix each other, then there is a new interaction, new interactions. When this old interaction and new interaction being similar, there is no difference in the old interaction, the new interaction, it will be ideal solution, ideal case. But it is not possible. There is a sometime interaction. What is the interaction between the molecules? Like when we mix the one component to second one, there is a formation of any strong bond, hydrogen bonds or any other bonds. Or when we mix in each other, there is a strongly enthalpy change, either exothermic condition create or the endothermic conditions create. So these all things change the interaction and create to the solution as a non-ideal. So friends, we are going to discuss one by one what is the positive and what is the negative. If older interaction is lesser than newer interaction, means new interaction is greater. When new interaction is greater, it creates the high vapor in the pressure. So raise the vapor pressure and create the positive deviation. If this new interaction is lesser, it means when we mix the two component and vapor pressure decreases, condition is the result is the decrease in the vapor pressure, it creates the negative deviation. According to the Raoult, when we mix these two components, there is no change in the vapor pressure of the components of the solution. But this is not possible. It either be increase or be decrease. If increase, positive deviation. If decrease, it will be negative deviation. So friends, reach to the positive deviation and negative deviation. So there are many examples of positive and negative deviation. So we are going to make the graph. As you know that this is the last one graph. This is the case of ideal case of Raoult's law. This is the x2, and here the x2 equal to 1 and x1 equal to 0, x2 equal to 0 and x1 equal to 1. This one is the P2 and this one is the P1. This is the P total. But when this is the ideal case. Let us suppose this is the ideal case. But in the case of positive deviation, when we mix these two, the vapor pressure of component 2 is increased and it is the higher than we assumed. So this is the P2 is greater than our calculation, and P1 also raised. This is the P1, so it will be P total also behind. So this is the case to represent the positive deviation. Positive deviation. And one other example. to represent the negative deviation. Friends, in the case of all things will be similar, only the vapor pressure is decreases, it will be decreases, and it will be also lesser than our aspect, so it will be negative. It will be negative. So there are many examples of positive and negative deviations. You may search in my videos to clear or more explanation. So friends, here we had already completed the all topics of the solution related to the Raoult's and Henry laws. And next one is the Polygaty property, which will be in the next video session. So if this video is helpful to you, or there is any suggestion from your side, so please suggest me and comment. If video is helpful and you may create more interest in the chapter or topic, so you may like and share to your friends also. अगर आप चैनल पे नए हैं तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए और हमें अपना आशीर्वाद और सहयोग भी बनाए। अगर आप कहेंगे तो हम कुछ और अपनी तरफ से कोशिश करेंगे। हमारी कोशिश है कि वीडियो आपको अधिक से अधिक हेल्पफुल हो और आप अपनी स्टडी को जारी रखें। फ्रेंड्स, ये किसी तरह का कोई वीडियो बनाने के पीछे का कोई उद्देश्य नहीं है, लालच नहीं है। इसको देखने में आपको कोई पैसा नहीं लगता है। आप देखें और अपनी पढ़ाई को जारी रखें। और सारे चैनल्स हैं जिस पर आपको और अच्छे से अच्छे वीडियोज मिल जाएंगे, आप वहाँ भी देखते रहें। हो सकता है मेरी वीडियो आपको सूट कर जाए तो आप उसको देखें, जिसकी आप कहीं से भी आप पढ़ाई जारी रखें, क्योंकि स्टडी का कभी एंड नहीं होता है और स्टडी का कोई लास्ट पॉइंट नहीं होता। इसलिए आप हमेशा पढ़ाई करते रहें और जहाँ भी आपको हमारी ज़रूरत समझ में आए आप वीडियो के थ्रू हमसे कांटेक्ट करें, आप वहाँ पे मैसेज करें या कमेंट्स करें। हम आप तक पहुँचने की जरूर कोशिश करेंगे अपने वीडियो या लेक्चर के मेथड से।